Well, hello there. Yeah, woohoo, let's go. Sorry, I was doing an American introduction to a live stream discussing the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. Have you noticed that? Here come the beautiful people. Hi, Francesca. Hi, Anne-Marie. Hi, Emily. Good to see you, Groovers. I've been busting to go live about this. I've actually got wet beach here. Went for a swim before. It's really warm here today. But I've been busting to go live and chat about it. I would have last night, but I got home and I was so tired. Hey, AJ, how you doing? Beautiful. So I thought I've been talking about it anyway. We'll just do our live and chat about the latest bits and pieces coming out of the trial, and also an area that I'm really fascinated with are the ramifications of this trial. And, we've talked about that a little bit. Oh, no, now there's going to be annoying beeping. Just give me a sec. Sorry about that. My load of washing finished and my machine beeps repeatedly for about 5 minutes until you switch it off. Hi, Scout. You're just catching up on yesterday? Yeah, it's around the clock for me. I'm addicted. But yeah, from lots of perspectives, and one is the ramifications of this trial that I think are going to be incredibly far-reaching. There's also some stuff I've heard while I've been listening to other people commenting on the trial that I want to talk about that I think are almost as irresponsible as the Washington Post publishing the article in the first place. Punish Dad! Objection, hearsay. How are you, Groove? I haven't seen you for ages. Gang, gang. I made a banana smoothie too. Sorry about that. I'm also hungry. You can't. I've also got a coffee. I've got everything. I'm good to go. So there's so much to unpack. So I sort of thought, rather than me just talking about shit, we'll see what you guys have to say about it as well. Things that have stood out for you. One thing I noticed from the most recent day of testimony, Amber's been really creepy in that she's been mirroring Johnny's outfits and hairstyles. Did anyone notice that today she had the same hairdo as the hot psychologist, Dr. Shannon Curry? You keep missing the streams by about 10 minutes. Well, you've got to set an alarm. No, I'm kidding. You don't miss much. I just talk crap. You might also get a glimpse of... I know she's out in her enclosure because it's a nice day. I was going to say you may get a glimpse of Sunny, but she is out in that cagey thing there. That's an outdoor enclosure where she goes. She's got a little day bed, hammock, little shelves and stuff. But she's for some reason wedged up in the corner down the bottom at the moment. But yeah, I thought Oh, she is so nasty. She's so nasty. You know what that's so weird is now that apology that they gave when they smuggled Pistol and Boo into the country, at the time I was like, come on, Johnny, you're a great actor. I can't be fucked attitude in that video. What's going on? But now I watch it and I watch it so differently. I watch it like this poor guy married to this entitled asshole. Once again, there he is having to deal with her entitlement. No wonder he's fucked off. We're over it. Yeah, she stole Dr. Curry's hairstyle, the sexy, shaggy, smart look. You've only seen meme videos. They're probably as good as the actual trial because the trial's an absolute ball terror. Let's get up Amber Heard in court today. I mean, it's getting so creepy now. The mirroring is just... It was awful when she was doing it to Johnny, but can I enlarge this? God, there've been some great witnesses. I mean, look, the more we watch and listen to, the cooler Johnny gets. I mean, even the people around him, his his entourage, his circle, cool people. There's just so much cool going on. It won't let me open it. Hang on. Give me a moment. What did I just see there? Open image in new tab. Oh, perfect. I finally worked out how to do it. My God. All right. So the deck was on the other side. No, the deck is that side. Like it's true to me right now where the deck is. The deck is. All right. So let's have a look at Amber with her hairdo today. Totally mirroring the psychologist, Dr. Shannon Curry. So you've sort of got it loosely pulled back, strands hanging down. And now I'll get up. I should have done this side by side, but I didn't have time for that. I've been to the beach. Now let me get a photo of Dr. Curry. He's absolutely stunning. He's got some good-looking roosters in his entourage too. Even his former talent agent's a bit of a hottie. And there she is. There's Dr. Shannon Curry. 2 days ago? And then today, that's not Amber today. That was Amber on that day. But now Amber's trying to do this look. And apparently I heard one commentator saying, oh, people are very vicious about her messy hairdo. Could she be any hotter? Like, why does she have to have what sort of hairdo does she need? It's so weird. She's hot. Leave her alone. She's a beautiful woman. Oh, yes, the vaping incident. Wasn't he fantastic? He's one of my favourite witnesses. There's been a few. I actually heard another commentator today talking about the English former PA of Amber Heard, and I'm like, she was Australian. That's why she's so dry and sarcastic. I mean, not that Poms aren't, but I'm following it so closely. I'm heckling people when they get shit wrong. You instinctively knew where the deck was. Yes, because the beach is there. Your mother mirrored people? Weirdo? Yeah, a bit weird. The spectators wouldn't leave the courtroom until Johnny turned around and waved goodbye to them today. He acknowledges everyone and seems so genuine. Amber ran for the door as soon as she could. Do you know what's so bizarre is, isn't he lovely? Like, even in the middle of everything, that woman who sneezed on man, and he's like, bless you, and then just keeps testifying like, yeah, he's divine. But what's been sort of, I guess, so captivating is she just looks really, really shocking. And then the next day rolls in and she looks even worse. And you think when she couldn't get any worse, she does. And her lawyers are doing a great job at making her look even badder. Hey, Lorianne. Actually, here's another observation I've made. I want to see if anyone agrees with me or not on this one. Some of you may know who I'm talking about, but let me get this one up for a few chuckles. There's a lot of things to talk about. I made another TikTokers think Amber Heard's lawyer is a secret Johnny Depp fan. Spot the lookalike. It is. Well, this is actually who I'm talking about. Let's. Oh, I better show you guys. Hang on. It's just every possible great thing that could happen in this trial is happening. It's awful, don't get me wrong. Like, the actual reason this trial is happening is hideous. And I feel so much for Johnny Depp because he was such a private person, and his entire story has been put out there. But it's important to him it should be important to anyone their story is heard. But Amber's lawyer, this one, her. Is that her at the Johnny Depp movie premiere in 2013. What's her bloody name again? Hang on. No, she looks different there. Elaine Brederhoft. It doesn't look so much like her there, but there. I think I didn't know about this. I just found it. I think the woman that is in the photo's got a bigger face, like more of a square-shaped face. Hey, Casper. Oh, nice. A little disco nap in the middle of the day. A little nana nap. Yeah, she did look a bit like Elsa from Frozen with some of her plaited hairdos. Yeah, the eyes are different. But even so, it's funny as fuck, right? But anyway, let's get some footage of Elaine. I mean, she's not as bad as the dude that objected to his own question, but let's go to the Law and Crime Network. Now, what I want you to do when I find her talking, well, actually, she's asking questions in this dude's testimony. So this dude's pretty interesting. The accountanty lawyer dude. He's the one that pretty much threw Amber under the bus by saying that she hadn't donated the money to charities and so on. But what I want you to do is listen to Elaine's voice. Oh, wait a minute. You've done a great analysis of the woman in the crowd. Girl on right's cheeks, bone sticks out further, more of a smush nose. I know, Alex, the guy that was vaping and driving, I know, the way the judge at them was like, that was a first. She has ruined her future. Isn't it fabulous? If I swear to God, if I never hear her name again, I'm even reluctant putting her name in my title, but the lawyer in me is like, be proper, be thorough. Oh, Mr. Connolly, loved him too. Oh my God, I loved him too. And this is what I mean, the team around Johnny is so cool and fun, and his artist buddy, Isaac. Mr. Connolly had me in stitches as well. And yeah, vaping and swigging out of his Mountain Dew bottle and then driving while giving testimony, that was gold. But what I want you to do in this little project, I want you to listen to Elaine asking some questions. Just focus on her voice and let me know in chat if I have to mute myself all the time. I'm hoping I don't, but tell me if I do. We've...
Amber and Johnny were basically, sparking.
I'll stop for a second just to say, one thing I have really found annoying is it's very hard to listen to this driving because the audio is low from the courtroom. That really pisses me off. I need to get a bit of her asking questions. Tell me if that was echoing, because I'll mute myself. Because there was also a rumour that she quit, but she clearly hasn't. Oh, I'll use this bit because this is one of my favourites. I hope everyone has got their muffins ready for this live to chomp on. I haven't got a muffin. I've got a donut. I bought a donut yesterday with my lunch. And the guy in the cafe, there was one donut left on that sort of tray under the glass, and he gave me both of them and didn't charge me for the second one. So I don't have a muffin, but I do have a donut. I was an echo, bugger. All right. Thank you, Groovers. I'm going to play this bit of footage instead. It's only 20 seconds though, but hopefully there's enough of her. There's an observation I've made. When I'm listening, I just go, oh my God, it's so uncanny. but it might just be me. And this is literally a 20-second video. So hopefully she asks at least a couple of questions so you can see what I'm getting at. Now I'll mute myself.
Why did your husband get the muffins for Amber Heard?
He did not get the muffins for Amber Heard.
He knew you had a high-profile client, and you were preparing for a very long time, and you asked him to pick up the muffins, correct?
I asked him to pick up the muffins for me, yes.
Okay.
But unmute the Great Muffin Scandal. All right. Yeah, I know. Free donut. What a bonus. Donuts are your favorite food group. Who can blame you? Does that lawyer remind anyone in here of Diane from Diane's channel, her voice and her annoying personality? Because it's been doing my head in for days. The first time I heard her voice, I was like, that sounds kind of familiar. And then the penny dropped. Yeah, I want Johnny Depp to pick up some muffins for me too. I think we all do. Muffin Gate. So yeah, the lawyer for Amber Heard was trying to prove that Dr. Curry had told her husband that Amber Heard was going into their offices that day, which is, you're not allowed to do that. And the way the lawyer was trying to prove it was because Dr. Curry was running late and she asked her husband to go and pick up some muffins from the local bakery, which is a normal procedure that she does when clients are going in. But she did say that her husband would have known there was a high-profile client because they actually go to a different office. They put all their staff in another office away so that those celebrities, I guess, are given privacy. But this stupid lawyer kept inferring that her husband had specifically bought the muffins for Amber. And it went on and on and on. And just made, once again, Amber's lawyers look really stupid. Oh, half a dozen. Francesca, though, don't you reckon she sounds like Diane? I feel like, I'm almost waiting for that really bad recording of Ladies' Night to kick in and Wendy's voice to come in and be condescending and mean. It reminds me of Diane from Diane's channel. Maybe they're from the same place. I don't know. You're refraining from muffin jokes. There's nothing wrong with a muffin joke, even in the middle of the day. But yeah, so there's been some Ripple witnesses. I'm happy to, I was going to do reactions, but if I'm echoing, I don't know how to fix this. I've got the echo cancellation switched off. Why? And why doesn't it happen when I'm live with Finn? Like, why? What's the difference with having two people? The sound of arrogance. Nicely put. No, the headphones, I can whack on my headphones. But the last time I tried headphones was with Finn and I couldn't hear a thing. But also when I was playing videos, they were coming through my headphones, but not through StreamYard. So I was playing music and stuff and having a good old chuckle, and no one could hear the music except for me because it was like porn music because Finn was taking his hair down and doing the whole thing, But I've got some here. I can put them on. Let's do an experiment. It's not like I have 83,000 people watching and I'm going to inconvenience everyone. You guys are always happy just to hang and do shit. So let me connect. All right, so I'm just going to play some audio and I want you to tell me if you can hear it. Oh. Did you guys hear any of that? Reckon. Oh, I think Johnny's already won, irrespective of the outcome. Oh, damn, you're working in a call center. Did you hear any of that audio? You couldn't hear it. See, there you go. So, fuck 'em. Hey, Meg. Yeah, come and hang out with us. We're talking about the Depp and Heard trial with some refreshing, I hope, perspectives and things that I've got from it. I mean, one thing I would really like to talk about is the irresponsibility of the Washington Post to have even published that. There was testimony that they advised Amber to take Johnny's name out of the initial draft, but she actually wanted it left in there. And thankfully, the Washington Post didn't publish that, but it was obvious from the piece that you could infer she was talking about Johnny. It's very weird to me that that was even allowed to be published, because in Australia, when we have cases, and we don't use the term DV anymore, domestic violence, it's called family violence in Australia now. But in those instances, if someone is accused of it, they are not publicly named until they're actually convicted. So the fact that the Washington Post could have published that article with his name in it, but fortuitously, well, not really, because at the end of the day, the inference is clear. But in any event, his name was omitted. But the fact that it could have been included, that is fucked up. How is that possible? And I was trying to think this morning of a case where a woman has been wrongfully accused of domestic violence and had her name smeared all over the American media, and then the lengths they've had to go to clear their name. And I can't think of one. I mean, how is this possible? Well, you're all just saying hi, and I'm being deep, as deep as I get. I'm horrified by that. I cannot get my head around that. If this trial, I think it's going to have some massive ramifications. I hope it does, but I'm an optimist and an idealist. But Johnny's already given men a voice, and that's pretty inspiring. He's also been able to tell his story, which is the most important thing. The most paramount importance of this trial is Johnny getting an opportunity to clear his name. But if he encourages or inspires men to speak up, that's a massive thing. Because even though domestic violence, and I only know the statistics for Australia, like in terms of how many people die a year, and that's pretty much a woman a day, it is a very gendered issue. But part of that data and those statistics would be because of the underreported number coming in from men. It's still going to be a gendered issue. There's no doubt about it. There will be more female and for female and child victims at the hands of men than vice versa. But I think the number of reported incidences involving men is a lot lower. Like when I was practicing as a criminal lawyer, we actually had a rape trial and the victim was male, and it was the first time my judge had actually sat on a trial like that, because men generally won't report stuff like rape. I mean, you can imagine all the guys down at the pub going, hey, what are you complaining about? At least it was a root, that kind of shitty attitude. And that particular matter really stood out, that this guy was bold enough to speak up despite society expecting him not to. Amber's muffins? Well, I think Dr. Curry's muffins might. Tori, we're Australian, we just say it. He thought the grass was greener on the other side, left Vanessa and the kids because he was thinking with his dick. Pay for that stupidity. Well, yeah, but, he didn't know he was falling for a fucking abuser. I think he would be living with that regret for the rest of his life. But she's a class manipulator. And everyone that's given testimony, when they talk about when they first met Amber, they describe a very different woman to the one she ended up revealing as the relationship rolled on. It only took her 15 months. Well, it was a lot sooner than that. The marriage only lasted 15 months. But yeah, he did get seduced, and he made a massive mistake, but that doesn't mean that he's allowed to be abused repeatedly by her, does it? I mean, I know you're not saying that, Meg. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, I've acted for a few abused men, and one of the reasons I'm fascinated in this trial is I ended up acting for, I was trying to think about it today, the exact number, but I know that there were at least 6 guys who I represented charged with rape, and they were all innocent. And they all got off too. Like, I mean, don't take that down the wrong road. They were all acquitted. And I also had a client whose daughter accused him of sexually assaulting her, and he was acquitted as well, but his life was over. His career was over, everything. It wasn't hard to prove that these girls were bullshitters. It was awful. So I've been quite passionate about defending men, but the problem is a lot of them in these types of cases just don't speak up. A friend of mine used to come to work with black eyes from his girlfriend beating him, would barely even admit it was happening. And this is it, like, this is a stigma that, you know, if it's being lifted a little bit by Johnny going public, I mean, for somebody so private to put his whole life out there on display, is pretty remarkable. But yeah, if that stigma starts to dilute a little bit because of this trial, that's going to be such a positive thing. I'm scared you to go to the pub now. I couldn't think of why I couldn't not think of why we're all here in the first place. The Watts case, yes, what I wouldn't give to see Shanann and Chris be in court rather than, I know, I'm with you. I hear you, Meg. And yeah, Francesco, I obviously, I mean, he said their relationship was kind of rocky anyway, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he's kicking himself now, but Jodi Arias, And there's a lot of cases that I keep remembering, like Jodi Arias, and that guy, oh shit, what was his name? Who was the actor or comedian, more really? Saturday Night Live and The Simpsons, who was murdered by his wife. Oh, Phil Hartman. What were the consequences like for being proven bullshitters? Nothing. Really. There were no penalties for it. It just was our way of clearing our clients' names and see you later. I mean, they probably could have sued for something, but most of them were young guys that were uni students working part-time in bars and stuff like that, so they didn't have the money. This is where Johnny having the money to do this is brilliant too, because most people wouldn't be able to sue newspapers, for example. And, you know, like, I mean, in Australia, if someone was named as a domestic abuser before they were convicted and it turned out that information got out through the court system or the cops, that you could sue them for sure. But yeah, from my memory, I mean, the girl who accused her dad, their relationship was obviously over, but so was his marriage, and his other kids at that time weren't speaking to him anymore, and hopefully they are now. But I mean, I suppose the ramifications when you get called out for that stuff, it's more that you've essentially destroyed someone else's life, but you've really destroyed your own as well. I mean, look at Amber. False allegations can be incredibly damaging. According to one study, 63% of males, as opposed to 15% of females, had a deadly weapon used against them in a fight with an intimate partner. Yeah. I mean, the statistics on a broader scale in Australia for victims of violence, women top the domestic violence, intimate relationship scale, and men top the scale for like fighting with other men, pub fights and stabbings and murders and against men. But I do think family violence is a gendered thing because it has been for centuries, unfortunately. But I think if more men start to speak up and file complaints and so on, that gap will narrow. But I think, unfortunately, women and children are always going to be the most targeted with family violence. You're Italian, you know about dominant men, but women are guilty too. You've got 7 brothers, Meg. Are you the only girl? You've seen a lot of maniac girlfriends, I bet. Are you the only girl? Are there like 8 of you and 7 the boys? Wow. She ended up dumping him a few years ago. The guy still gets on Facebook every day sharing things that make it obvious he's still fucked up about it. That is so sad. And you're right. What can you do? You've just got to be there for him, you know, and he probably will never fully open up, but he's certainly, if he's putting things on Facebook, there is a little cry for help going on. So I'd just keep checking in on him and just say, you know, do you want to go and grab a beer and have a chat, or do you want to go and get a coffee and have a chat, and maybe point him in the direction of speaking to his GP. And the reason I'm giving this advice right now is I've just finished a mental health first aid training course, and this is the stuff we learned. The most important thing is you can be there for someone, and there's small ways you can encourage them. So, for example, if you suggest he goes and sees his GP, you can make a correlation to an actual story from your life, like a friend that you know that ended up on antidepressant. Well, they don't call them that, anti-anxiety medication, and how much it helped them. Or just, you know, being referred to a psychologist and having someone to talk to about it. But if you can kind of find a story from your own life and frame it in a way that it's really positive for your mate, it might encourage him to go and chat to someone. But the most important thing is just keep in touch. Keep in touch. And I'm really sorry to hear that too. Things don't last forever, and that is okay. Phil Hartman, you guessed it, I'm way behind in chat. Men who suffer domestic violence can only receive help if they break the silence. Not reporting domestic violence because of the stigma attached is the main reason men currently receive fewer services. Are you copy-pasting something out of an article? It's good, though. It's the point I'm making, but it's way more eloquent. My brother Daniel was 43, better looking than Johnny Depp, if I'm honest. Walked in with a 25-year-old. Thank goodness he left her here. It wasn't going to turn out well. I had a partner who was 21 years older than me, and never again. He was an Amber Heard. He wasn't physically abusive. He was an emotional abuser. Oh, just on that, unfortunately, I've heard probably 2, maybe 3 creators claiming in very firm terms that emotional abuse is worse than physical abuse, because with physical abuse, the bones heal and the bruises fade. Excuse me, what the fuck? I cannot believe that people are saying that. Every type of abuse is fucked up, and there's no better or worse. I can't stand people claiming that one type of anything is worse than the other when there's a word like abuse included in that sentence. Abuse is fucked up. It doesn't matter what it is. And the psychological ramifications of having the person you love beat the shit out of you, they don't fade like a bruise. So I really wish people would not state crap like that unless they're qualified to, or that they provide some peer-reviewed stuff to back up what they're saying. But that is very dangerous. Any victim of abuse deserves support. Every victim of abuse deserves access to services, and there's no victim of abuse who's worse off than another. They are all in the same group. They are all victims of abuse. Now, the types of abuse and the extremities and so on vary, obviously, case to case. But how dare people make out that they are an authority on a subject like that? And they may have been in an abusive relationship. I mean, I reckon we all have. I've been in 2 emotionally abusive relationships, both with narcissists. One of them actually diagnosed. The other one, I'm pretty sure, I mean, he ticks the same boxes as the other dude. I've also been in one physical relationship where physically abused, and I also had an emotionally abusive parent. So I think we've all got, unfortunately, experiences. It may even be teachers at school or employers. Like, I don't think any human being can go through life without being abused somehow by another human being. It's just the way some human beings are wired. They're going to be abusers. So, and I'm again, the experiences that you have don't, especially for me, it was never going to define my life. It was going to make me live a better life than the people who'd abused me. That's how I've approached it. But it doesn't mean I wasn't affected as much by my partner who beat me as I was by the narcissist who kind of, well, gaslit me. And I mean, the scary thing about Amber is she's both. She's both. She's a scary girl. But yeah, I would never sit down and go, oh yeah, that relationship, or the 2 relationships where I was emotionally abused were worse than the one where I was beaten. Are you kidding me? So yeah, creators out there that are saying sweeping shit like that, unless you're qualified and you've got some data and information to back it up, look at Tori go. Them's fighting words. All right, let's go back. All these comments are triggering things. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the AFL player accused of something he'd done as a kid. Everyone knew it was bullshit and he jumped off the bridge. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of victims of abuse do. It's just easier to end it and get out of it. Even Johnny contemplated that. That's very sad. You flogged her yourself when she split him with a beer bottle. Oh, and remind me too, I have got a few notes. There's another thing. We've all got to be really vigilant with our friends. We've all got to notice stuff. I've got one of those videos. In fact, I don't want to ignore chat, but you're going to go to the pub with Meg. Good idea. Many do, Deb. Many do. And many get murdered too. There's 3 girls, 10 altogether. You're the baby. What an awesome childhood you must have had, or must have been mental, crazy fun, and crazy full stop. If one of my brothers brings another amberheard home to my house, I'm going to flog them myself. Yeah. Yeah, I know, 21 years older. What was I thinking? Well, my boyfriends have always, and partners have all been younger than me, and he was charming. He was a narcissist. I didn't know that, but he was, this will sound a bit fucked up about how I feel about myself, but no, I'll try to word it in a way that it doesn't, because I'm not, I don't have tickets on myself to make this statement if you take it the wrong way, but we matched each other intellectually. And I really missed that in the relationship I had before that. We'll leave it at that. The age difference between JD and Amber, has someone answered that? It's not 21 years, but it's, what's he now, 57? Or maybe it is more than 21 years. Hang on. He's 58. She's 36. getting a calculator. This is why I did law, because, oh, sorry, 22 years. Oh, 1 year more than Jim and I. Interesting. I would have put up with Johnny Depp for the rest of my life. But also, I mean, that, you know, he's in his 50s and she's in her 30s. I was in my 40s and he was in his 60s. So, you know, I agree, Meg. I do think we've all been through it. And yeah, experiences make you the person who you are today. And I don't know why I'm the person that chose to find the positives in the negatives and change, or not change, but strive to live a life where I wasn't the same. And that's what Johnny really did. He strove to be nothing like his mother, and he strove to be like his stoic father who just stood there and took the beatings. But people are definitely entitled to be fucked up and upset about what happens to them, but I feel that if you let it define your life, you're just keeping that abuser empowered, and I wasn't going to do that. I was going to turn that bad, shitty situation into a positive. Which is why I volunteered to work in Fiji for a year doing domestic violence law over there, because it's a nightmare in Fiji. Domestic violence is shocking. It makes Australia almost look like it should get a gold star. That's how bad it is. But they went into a bloody coup right before I was meant to go. The brain can be a very sexy thing. I agree. His mother, I know. I think it's so important we're all able to have a conversation, especially about DV. This trial is making us more aware and open up. Exactly. And I've been saying that in some of my lives that you've been in, Scout, that this isn't about celebrity at all. I don't think there's many people following it because they're like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm certain there are people perving on Johnny and possibly Amber as well, but for the most part, it's not, the fascination is not about the celebrity. The fact that they're celebrities and have the money to take this to court makes it fascinating as far as I'm concerned, because all this stuff that we should be talking about is out there for everyone to watch and discuss. And that's why this live has this title, because I think the most important thing is Johnny getting to tell his story and be heard, and for the world to go, okay, fuck. Because the media in this, and the fact that that article was published, those articles are read by people online who believe that shit. And this is why I can't understand that somebody can be named or implicated in an article like that before they're convicted. This is proving why it's so dangerous. But also, so many people just believed it. They didn't do their research. They didn't listen to what he was saying about it. They just read and went, he's a wife beater. And that's how he's been referred to since that piece was published. And I've lost my point. I was heading somewhere with all of that. Oh, yeah, these conversations. Hey, Joey, it's very important that we have them. I agree with you 100%, Emery. A lot of people are like, who cares? The answer is everyone should care. And that's part of the problem too, is that because they're Hollywood celebrities, if you talk to someone, mind you, I haven't met one person yet who's not following it in my life, probably some of my elderly relatives and so on, but for the most part, you know, my contemporaries, my friends, my work colleagues, my sister, we're all watching it and having these conversations. And the fact that a lot of people are tuning out because of the celebrity factor is the disappointing part. Because the reality is you need someone filthy rich to sue a paper like Johnny is, for these conversations to be had. And it's going to be somebody famous. It's going to be a Johnny Depp. It's going to be a Hollywood star. It's going to be an Elon Musk. It's not going to be me. Like, I might take on some piddly little newspaper here, and because of my family, it probably would actually get a little bit of media, but whether it incited a heap of conversations and discussions wouldn't have an impact at all like this one is. And that's why I'm fascinated by it, because there are global ramifications. But most importantly, Johnny getting to tell his story is the most critical thing. And I just love that he has. And it doesn't matter whether he wins this or not. But I started off thinking he wouldn't win it because defamation's really hard to prove, especially when you're not named. And not only that, he also has to prove the loss of income. But now that he's had a witness pretty much saying he wasn't going to be renewed on Pirates, like his former talent agent, who was quite delicious, was saying that he had a conversation where he was told that Johnny would not be asked to be in the next Pirate. So they've got that evidence now. And the inference about her writing about Johnny Depp, I think the article on its own, it's very obvious she's writing about Johnny. But the fact that there's now evidence that she initially wanted his name included and they insisted it was taken out, and even when they took it out, she asked them to put it back in, I think those have just, that's it. Case closed. I think she's fucked now. So, woo! But I believe Johnny as well. Like, I don't think that the money was why he was really doing it. I mean, I don't think she's got 50 million to give him. She didn't give the 7 million to the charity she said she would. It's the fact that his name is being cleared, and her counterclaim is essentially wanting 100 million, accusing him of being a liar. Good luck with that one. His nervous, uncomfortable laugh on the stand at times show much of an impact it's still having on him. Absolutely. And AJ and I were chatting yesterday. She sent me a clip of a body language expert, and I've listened to a few more, and I've learned a lot about body language and baselines, but a lot of his the things that he's doing on the stand that in other people could be deemed as being dishonest, it's actually his baseline. Like, he does actually have a little bit of a stutter. I listened to a language expert talking about his accent. Oh, that might have been the same person, AJ. It was. I listened to her driving home. And I loved it. The states of the US, they have a word that describes the accent from each state, and the one for Kentucky is sexy. It's like Johnny Depp is living proof of that. Yeah, in the suburbs, people do buy into the media. Absolutely. You're making a sandwich? I want Musk to come out too. And Jason Momoa. And even, this is just how fucked up she is. So Jason, who's doing Aquaman, he's in the whole Aquaman debacle with her, unfollowed her on Instagram, and now she's gone, unfollow. Oh, she's just so revolting. I'm trying my hardest not to refer to her generation, but she's the epitome of her generation that can cause a bit of dissent on the YouTubes. Now I'm expecting Morgan to roll on in, because she always rolls in right when I say that word. Hey, Humanimal, how are you, gorgeous? Musk will be great. I love the fact you downplay your legal experience. Sometimes people get a bit shy around such a brilliant young lady. You've done well on YouTube not having the groupies. I haven't really talked about my legal experience a lot, which is so weird. I don't know why, because do you know what I regret now? I regret that I didn't start my channel and just do commentary on cases and stuff like I'm doing now, and call my channel The Braless Lawyer. I thought about it the other day. I went live and I was like, oh, this bra's killing me. And I just took it off, and I thought, no one will notice. You can put the camera up high enough that you won't notice. Because I'm looking at all these channels that have all got these kooky names, and I was like, oh, kind of like the Naked Chef or the Barefoot Investor. I could be the Braless Lawyer. But Traces of Nuts. And I think that's part of the problem. I don't think anyone takes me seriously. But yeah, I don't have groupies, and we'll keep it that way. When I got into comedy, all my male comedian colleagues were like, oh, wait for the groupies. No, female comedians, groupies, no. One groupie I had in 20 plus years of doing comedy. And we had a relationship. He became a boyfriend, but yeah, one. No bueno. I don't know how she can pay her lawyers either. I don't know how those lawyers are going to be paid by anyone ever again. Oh, shit, what have I done? I've lost the chat. There. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't engage them. Who are you going to have? The woman who sounds like Diane from Diane's channel, who can't stop talking about the muffins? Are you going to have Rottenborn? Yes, Mr. Rottenborn. That is correct, Mr. Rottenborn. Or are you going to have the dude who objects to his own questions? I mean, what a variety of people to choose from. Who do you go with? I go with Ben Chu, the principal lawyer on Depp's team. He's my lawyer, if I ever need one. Just so I can say, your name reminds me of sneezing. It's not Archu, but for some reason it does. But secondly, can we go and see Johnny? Do you reckon the world right now, everyone just wants to give him a hug? And it's so funny because I'm a bit like him in some respects. Despite I can go live on YouTube, I'm quite introverted and I'm not a fan of hugs from strangers. And the world probably just wants to give him a hug. And I can just see him going, don't hug me. I reckon he's not a fan. I mean, I reckon he hugs his best mates and, he's close and physical with the people that he loves and trusts. But I reckon like the whole world wanting to hug him, he'd be like, That's just the impression I get. So I wouldn't hug him. I'd be like, yo, want to smoke a bong? That's what I'd be doing. I'd love to get stoned with Johnny Depp. Because he'd be that brilliant stoned conversationalist. And he's already so intelligent and eloquent. And you throw a bit of pot in the mix and, see, that's kind of explaining what I saw in my partner who was 21 years older than me. Moving right along. The recording as well when she tells him to claim he's a DV victim publicly because no one believed him. That was my moment. Absolutely. I did it as the topic for my live driving home one day with him just saying, yes, I am. Those 3 words, so powerful. And what a brilliant way to just bang. No further questions. So powerful and so heartbreaking. Joey and I were talking about that this morning, the disrespect they have in the courtroom. Where were you and Joey chatting about that? You're the same, Jen. I know, Emily, I'm tiptoeing. Have you seen that uncomfortable video of Jason Momoa with his daughter where he moves his hand? Hey? Did I see Joey's video? No. What? Jason Momoa with his with Johnny's daughter, with Lily Rose? Used to be shy around me. Yeah, the braless lawyer. Oh, Sonny just went, yeah. Where are you? Hello. Sonny agrees, the braless lawyer. She just went, yeah. Yeah, I don't wear bras at home normally either, but I've put one on. I always put one on when I go live. I'm like, oh, fuck, I better put a bra on. We can all be braless at the Better Call tour firm. Exactly. How can you be shy around Tori? That's like being shy at my family Christmas party. Hey, Courtney W., did I read that right? What did I miss, Courtney? Hello. Free balling in the breast region. Hey, Cass, how are you? No bra is the best bra. Exactly. Hi, Courtney. Smoke a little and have a mega pint. Exactly. I've got a mega pint of banana smoothie. Hi, Sonny. Hello. Johnny would be. He was always, that, and like, this isn't me because of the trial. He's always been on my list. And it was because of Finding Neverland, because he and I both have the same phobia, which is clowns. And there's a scene in Finding Neverland where he has a heap of clowns dancing around him. And, when people say if you could have anyone at a dinner party, or like you could have 6 guests, Johnny Depp's always been on my list because I have the same phobia and I want to know how the fuck he did it. Even though I've heard interviews and stuff, I want him to sit there and look me in the eye and tell me how he did it without throwing up. And he's just one of those people. He's got that beautiful deep voice. I mean, I reckon he's about 2 feet shorter than me, so that line through that. But I'd certainly want to be his buddy. And yes, I am fussy about the height of my partners because I'm tall and I like to feel small next to my man. My man. I mean, don't get me wrong. If he was like, "G'day, Tor, do you want to go on a date?" I'd be like, "Fucking oath, yeah," but that's not going to happen. We're going to get a Depp weed dispensary soon. I'll Google. Okay, I'll Google it later. I want to know what Courtney was. Where's Courtney? Where's Courtney gone? Oh, did I read that right? Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, yeah, the lack of quotation marks. I didn't order. Yeah, did I read that right? I like it when Johnny went, "You read that very, very well." God, the humour's been great. You'd give Johnny a naughty cuddle. But what I was going to say was even Johnny Depp has to be tall for women. Johnny, I don't think he's 2 feet smaller. How tall is he? Are you 6 foot? I'm not quite 6 foot, but they do build them tall in Australia. How tall is Johnny Depp? .78 meters. What's that? Give it to me in centimeters. I mean in feet. Oh, he's tall. Well, he's 5'10". He weighs 78 kilos. Oh, my God, and that line. Oh, my God, one of my favourite ones. Yeah, I'm 5'9" too, Meg. He's the same height as us. Sorry, he's 5'10". All right, can that. Bring it on. I always figured he was tiny. They're always so little. Your cousin is 6'7". Hey, cement shoes. We've got a 5'8", a 5'7". Look at us all tallies. You're only 5'4". That's weird, Joey. I would have put you in the tall girl group. How bizarre. 5'4" is little. You're 5'3.5". The half. You are the little one in here. So he's not short. So we can all us tall girls can have a crack. I mean, look, we're all the same height lying down in bed. But, you know, like, I can't date a guy that we can't wear heels. You're right, Meg. We won't be able to wear. I went out with a doctor a few years ago, 2 decades ago, and he told me his height. Like, we were texting one day, and I was like, I do need to know one thing before we meet up, because we were set up on a blind date. And I said, I need to know how tall you are. And he said he was, I think he was 5'10". He said, I'm 5 inches, 10 foot, like the way he did the little jing-jings. But it mustn't have been 5'10", because it looked like it could have been inches and feet. It was very funny. Anyway, we dated. AJ, you're 5'4.5" I know the inches do count. You're 5'1", Courtney. Our body types change how our body looks height-wise. Johnny is romantic body type, which makes him appear shorter. Kibby's, oh no, Marie's at 5'4". I want to do that later and see. Well, does that mean tall people aren't romantic? Is it Kib or Kibby? Body type test. Oh, God, the best way to do the test is take a picture of yourself in a swimsuit or underwear. Well, I'm not doing that. I was going to go do it live. No. Courtney is very little. Johnny for hall pass. Yeah, I think a lot of women would have him on the hall pass list. Cass is 5'8". When we're not the same height, I went out with someone who was almost 7 feet. It was weird. True. Yeah, you're right. That's just a saying that short people came up with to justify being with people taller than them. I'm not putting bathers on to do the. I'll do it. I will do it in the comfort of my own living room, not while I'm on freaking camera. Imagine me just age 55 just rolling on out of my bathers. One of my favourite Johnny moments. I'm still having this smoothie and I was really hungry. There's been so many. There have been so many great moments, and I think we should watch all of them. Did you read too that they've worked out on Twitter all the people supporting Amber, like a heap of them are trolls? Oh, come on. That's one of my favourites. We'll all ask for our favourites and we'll play them and have a good old laugh. I've also got a really serious video I want to play, but we'll do that a bit later at the end, which is why I want to encourage everyone to pay attention and see what's happening with their friends and so on and speak up. There is a theory that her mirroring is actually because she's scared of Johnny. No. She's mental. She's now bloody mirroring the psychologist. So I shouldn't say mental. That's not nice. But it is a bit loopy to be doing that mirroring outfit thing. And today she had the hairdo of the psychologist. But that's kind of, what am I doing? This is one of my favourites. There's been so many because his humour is so fabulous. And there's so many highlights of the humour. And we'll play Andrew Pandra again because he's got them all in a timely in order. But this is one of my favourites, and not because I'm into this kind of shaming or anything, but her reaction. I've got to mute myself.
Correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
God damn it, mofos, because of those headphones. I couldn't hear the volume on the video. It was playing, and I'm like, oh, great, that's silent.
Amber,
and
correct?
it was because I put my headphones on, so
I wouldn't say that.
the headphones have just ruined my life. All right, we've got a focus. There it is right there. Amber's face. Like the way he, like you've got to see his face after it too. It made me, oh, you're 5'11", 5'8.11". How are you, Punny? How tall is Punny's dad? Casper's 5'7". Scout's 5'6". What height are you, Punny's dad? Oh, they say to the strippers, show us your personality. That's so cute. No. Disagree. That psychologist's hair was sexy. Sorry, cement shoes. We'll never agree with you on that one. Partly because I have messy beach hair, but Amber says that because she's a mole. You're 6 foot. Hi, Tawny. How you doing, Groover? Nice to see you, Tawny C. Your 15-year-old is 6'2", still growing. It's going to be huge. Miss K, hello. I need to find, I don't know if this person who made this video has done the same as the one that I keep watching over and over again, but I love it so much. Just Johnny's face. Like, he's got such a great sense of humour, but when he delivers little bombs that are genius and he's sort of almost flaring his nostrils with pride, that cracks me up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of neat hair. Her hair is hot. I would have tried to work out how to. I could do that with my hair. I kind of do messy hairdos when I go to work anyway. But now that Amber Heard's tried to copy it, I will never dare. But anyway, I'm going to mute myself and play this.
Correct? Physically? You're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
You agree with me?
I've been laughing my head off, and this bloody echo is so annoying. Mega pint. I've been laughing my head off and saying all kinds of cool shit, and none of you heard it. What I originally wanted to say was Johnny, just his little bit of pride with that comment, but her reaction is so funny. But I do think this trial is going to have huge ramifications for the planet. But there's also little things like mega pint that are just going to be part of our vernacular from now on as well. A mega pint. You've reached your ideal weight. You haven't reached your ideal height of 7'6". Yep, messy buns are 10 out of 10. You dress a bit out there. Good on you, Francesca. It's important that we're all... Yeah, I'm not now, hopefully. Am I unmuted? Oh, good. Exactly. She could get by with any hairdo, but that messy hairdo was so good. Do you honestly think what your diet is has something to do with your height? I have a blue healer brought up on T-bones because my brother's a butcher. Jonathan is a huge healer. Jonathan, oh, how cute. I reckon it has something to do with it. I mean, I think the theory that all the girls are getting such big natural boobs now at a younger age is because of the hormones in chicken. So, you know. Yeah, couch now. But let's keep enjoying this. I can't stop watching it. I've watched this 1,000 times. Not this particular version, but I've watched it on some other channel. Oh, I might have watched it on Shorts. But anyway, here we go on YouTube. Here we go.
Bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that. Again.
Okay. So you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Or
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was simply, you would agree.
Was human fecal matter. It's a photograph of the dead.
Oh shit. I echoed. Damn it. God damn it. Let me go back. Fuck a doodle doo. Fuck his StreamYard because of that. I'm playing the whole thing again. This is an Andrew Pandry zone. I feel bad because I really like Andrew Pandry. This channel. Hang on. I'll do Andrew Pandry's because he was the original. He was the OG compilation. Just chat amongst yourselves. Anyone got a muffin? Thank you to whatever that channel was. Oh, there's a third one I haven't seen yet. Oh, brilliant. We're going to play all three. But yeah, that one with Amber's reaction when Johnny's like, oh, I wouldn't say that I'm bigger than her is gold. All right, so we've played Andrew Pandry before and he's lovely and he doesn't strike. Okay, enjoy Andrew Pandry. But does anyone, when they do a poo now, sing the poop song? I do. I'm on the loo and I'm like, it's human fecal matter. What was that? What was that? I'm never going to, in my household, if anyone visits, they're like, I'm just going to go and make a poo, but now we're all going to go and make human fecal matter. All right, I'm going to mute myself because StreamYard sucks.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. Had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
Hearsay.
Let's move beyond the conversation that Kevin
Certain-
Murphy had with Mr.
Said, yes, they had. Okay. It appears that Ms. Heard had told
Hearsay, Your Honor.
she would like for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I'm not if it's sheriff's office for the truth of the matter, sir.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning. Ms. Heard that
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
disturbing. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers.
I want to do, how am I going to do reaction videos on my channel with this echo that I have to keep muting and pausing? This is ruining my YouTube aspirations. Just saying.
Read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is
You'd like
Other-
it to be, sir.
others-
Nothing simple in this case.
Other-
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
the document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed.
That is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is the document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
And that was a document you signed in August of 2016. Correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the
Well, it's just
That is seriously one of my favorites. Simo's stories. Hello. I need to work out the headphones. I need to work out everything. The solution is the headphone. I don't want to go live reacting with headphones on. Nobody else does. Why do I have to? I watch heaps of reaction channels. I haven't seen anyone wearing headphones. I'm not listening to any more songs you recommend, Cement Shoes, until I get human fecal matter out of my head. All right, I'm muting again because I'm playing more of Johnny being awesome.
I wanted to make clear that you signed
Made it
that in
clear.
the summer of Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Very ugly situation with Amber. So
Mr.
I-
Depp,
Another gem, were you there? Everyone else does. They wear AirPods. I do have some little pods. Maybe I'll try them. Maybe I'll try them now. I just don't know how to stop the sound only being in my pods and you guys not hearing it too. That is the dilemma. A gamer headset? You'd have to pay me a lot of money to wear one of those things. Oh, it's not a parody. All right, I'll look at it later, Cement Shoes, I promise. All right, I'm muting again. Can't have an echo.
with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question
I
was simply,
understand when
you
you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on Exhibit 500, please.
500?
500, Defense Exhibit 500.
I'd like to see who I lied to.
I'm drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
His sense of humour is so Australian. Isn't happy hour any time? We can get you a gamer headset with the cat ears on top. All right, we'll look into them. I'll wear them in honor of Sunny. Where is my Sunny? Well, she's back out in her enclosure, hanging out in a hammock because she's a cool cat.
That you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine.
Do I have to keep stopping because I love every single thing? Do we not just adore the man? I feel a bit special too. I'm not going to lie. But this crowd gets Aussie humour. The Americans in my channel are all fluent in sarcasm. But holy shit, some of my jokes have backfired on YouTube big time. In fact, when I went to school in the US, I got kicked out of so many classes for being sarcastic, which just made me try even harder. Yeah, I agree. The objecting to the own, but there's too many bests. There's so many bests, and I want the best to be Johnny. I think the world does. I haven't watched every single Johnny Depp movie. I've tried to watch some and gone, not into this. I found his Mad Hatter really creepy and Willy Wonka really creepy. But there are other films of his that melt my heart, even just thinking about them, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. My God, I love that movie. And Edward Scissorhands makes me cry every time. All right. That's really funny too, because wait, you're Australian. The commentator I heard today talking about referring to Amber's former PA who is English. I was like, she's a fucking Aussie. That's why she was so blunt. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a Willy Wonka original, but like Finding Neverland. Oh my God. Some of his lesser known movies I think are his most beautiful. Benny and June. But then Pirates. I mean, that initial Pirates, when you saw it, was just like the best day ever.
Once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
That right.
There's so much. So you love him and that's the thing. I think everyone's got their own things of Johnny that they love because he was so versatile. That's what makes him so cool. He's not the same in every movie. You were very young, rub it in, when the first Pirates came out and adored it. Yeah, it was just the best pirate movie ever. That whole movie is just genius. Can't say I found the others as good. Well, yeah, it's one of those ones where the original was just so good, the sequel could never be better. Where is the rum gone? I think the way Australians just play down everything as well. You can be at a barbecue with the Lord Mayor of Brisbane and you wouldn't know. Exactly. Alice in Wonderland is creepy. I was the Cheshire Cat. Oh, here's a little brush with fame story for you from my world. I was the Cheshire. I was in a theatre group when I was a kid in Tassie that was called Apprentice Theatre. It was sort of like an out of school kids that were into drama had this little group that would go off to apprentice it, and they used to do these amazing productions at the Theatre Royal, which AJ has strutted on the same stage. And I was the Cheshire Cat, and the Dormouse in Alice was a very young at the time, but now one of Tasmania's greatest exports as far as acting goes, a girl called Essie Davis. Some of you may know her, some of you may not, but she was in that really creepy movie. Oh, it's not. Hang on, let me just get Essie's bio up. I haven't actually seen it, but it freaked people out. Let me go to her films. She was in the movie. Well, she was in Girl with a Pearl Earring, but she was in The Babadook. A lot of people know her from that. But anyway, she was the Dormouse. And already as a teeny little thing, she wanted to be the star of every show. And we're on stage. Perfect. That's beautiful. Exactly. See my stories. She was jealous of not having the lead role. And the Cheshire Cat's not the lead role either, but I'm out on the stage. I'm on a little ladder up my tree, being an amazing Cheshire Cat. And she pushed the fucking tree over. So I was left exposed, sitting on a little ladder. And I just continued, the show must go on. So when I had to vanish, because the Cheshire Cat vanishes, I just put my hands over my face like I'd vanished. Whereas if the tree was still up, there was this little green veil-y thing that I used to lower down and I'd disappear. So, yeah. That's what Essie Davis did to me. And I bumped into her years later at Adelaide during an Adelaide Fringe and told her that story, and she still remembers it. She was like, I was horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I think we all had a moment, an Essie Davis moment. But we all also knew she would go on to do amazing things because she's an incredible actress and she's a really gorgeous girl too. But she had a feisty temper, that little one. It freaked you out. You haven't watched it yet. I really want to. Lake Mungo? Okay, I'll give that a go too. All right, let's finish up this bit of Johnny.
You did it.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
Right after you cut your finger off, right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Sorry.
right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Bless you.
poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah. Fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
Another pearl. I love that moment. We'll be chatting in a minute about all of our favourite bits because there's so many. And this is only one of three. A mega pint for everyone. Exactly. And I love this bit too, the difference between Amber speaking with the woman who sounds like Diane from Diane's channel, and then when it pans over to Johnny with Ben Chu. Brilliant. Alrighty. Oh, it's jumped straight to part 3, which I haven't actually seen yet. We'll do that one next because I like to mix things up a little, and then we'll go back to part 2 if we're all still in the mood. But then I do want to play a video, which is oh, hello. I do want to play a video at the end, which I think will, just remind us all to keep an eye out on our friends and what they're going through, and the importance that this trial is going to have massive ramifications in so many ways, as we've already talked about. But yeah, the importance of one of the messages that's come out of it is for us all to be a bit more diligent and vigilant and speak up when we see things that we think are dodgy. But yeah, Megapint's got to be up there for sure. Can you read that again? And the other thing was with the, yes, you read it correctly. And then I think it's in the second one where he's like, you read that very, very well when they're going through all the different tabloid headlines. Rottenborn. And just, the fact that he was named Rottenborn was just instant comedy and perfect for Johnny with his voice. Yes, Mr. Rottenborn. Casper playing innocent. You might need to Google that. Can you read that again? He's gold. So clever too. Like, people were saying it was risky for him to loosen up a bit and start cracking some jokes because the jury might find him arrogant. No. The jury find him hilarious. I mean, you can tell from the laughter in the courtroom, and even the people sitting in the public gallery have been threatened to be kicked out because they've been laughing. But yeah, I don't think it hurt him at all. I think when I had witnesses who were very sort of stiff and serious, you know, I'd try to bring something about their personality that I'd found while I'd been interviewing them out in the courtroom, just so that they would endear themselves to the jury. Like, it's very important. So him cracking jokes, I mean, he's a model witness, same as that Isaac dude, the artist. They're the sort of witnesses that you want. And the supervisor at the apartment building, who was pissing himself laughing that Amber and her friends were claiming someone was trying to break into the apartment, and the scratches were 4 inches off the bottom of the carpet, like from the carpet on the door. Johnny Depp cracking up at that was another golden moment. I don't know if Amber could find any worse lawyers. It's been an interesting thing to watch, hasn't it? Like, I think people that know absolutely nothing about law and court would still be watching it going, these lawyers aren't very good. You got to run. Yeah, it's nearly 3. We're on the same time zone now, Meg. Got to run to the shop. Off you go, girlie. Lovely to see you. Thanks for popping in. You just fell in love with me. Ooh, why? The lawyer from the castle. Oh, wasn't he awesome? Dennis Denuto. It's Marbo. It's the vibe. It's everything. Yeah, I can see why a lawyer would take on the case with her when you're purely looking at defamation, because there are a lot of ifs. But as it turns out, Johnny's team have got witnesses that tick the boxes for all the ifs. We were chatting about that before. So, because I wasn't 100% convinced he could win on defamation. But what they did was they put all this shit out about him to try and make him look bad. And to be honest, you know, a 15-month marriage and the amount of stuff that was recorded and put out by Amber that makes her look even worse. But in the scheme of things, like, that's what most volatile relationships are like. Like, nobody's watching it going, this is incredulous how bad he was. They're going, this is a really fucked up couple. Like, they should not be together at all. In fact, nobody should be with Amber ever. But, yeah, there's been evidence that has ticked the boxes where I wasn't sure that they would be successful, Johnny's team, in debunking the defamation, because at the start, like, defamation is very hard to prove, but there were things in her favour, like the fact that he wasn't named, even though when you read the article, it's very obvious to see the inferences are referring to him. But the fact that it wasn't published, like his name wasn't published, could have been a tick in her favour. But the fact that the Washington Post didn't want his name included and took it out, and then she demanded it got put back in, well, there's one nail in the coffin for you, Amber. So I could kind of see why, if you were just doing a straight defamation trial at the start, you probably would take it on. But now, and they've just made it so bad. Like, they've made it, they have succeeded in making her look way worse than she's made herself look. Unbelievable. They've been, I think, I haven't seen one witness where their questioning and objectioning hasn't been ludicrous and over the top. Like, they're a farce, and they just keep becoming more and more farcical, and that's why so many people are gripped by it. There's a heap of lawyers following it that are purely following it from a, wow, imagine being on this trial on Johnny's team. You wouldn't want to be on Amber's team. But yeah, I don't know how she found lawyers. Well, I don't know how the lawyers stuck around. I'm surprised they haven't all left mid-trial. Yeah, never in the history of time has a lawyer objected to their own question before. Yeah, the original draft of the article, the fact someone else wrote the first draft. And the problem is, like I said earlier, that the people that read that article believe it, which is why I'm so shocked that in America you can publish an article about somebody being guilty of domestic violence when they haven't actually been convicted of that. In Australia, that doesn't happen. Perpetrators' names are withheld until there is a conviction and not before. And if anyone's name was leaked, there'd be lawsuits against everyone, including the cops. Like, it would be on for young and old. The fact that that article was even able to be published, and the fact that the majority of people reading it just read it at face value and believed it and didn't do their own research, or go, well, there's two sides to every story. Like, when this trial started and Johnny was giving evidence, a lot of people were like, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But the reality is this trial has shown us exactly what went on behind their closed doors. But yeah, the people that saw that article just read it and they're like, he's a wife beater. And the industry did too. And he's only just starting to get, because of this trial, people coming back to him and going, we're sorry, we got this so wrong. It's awful. It's so fucked up. I think Johnny's fine. I mean, he could sell every single asset he's got and go and live on that beautiful island, which has his very humble little bungalow. That was another thing. Oh, my God, there's so much I want to talk about. Been live for an hour and a half. This live could go for 12 hours. I'm kidding. I will have to eat food at some point. But the bungalow, his little cabin on the island is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And there are people going, oh, that's not a very big house. Oh, I thought he'd have a much flashier house than that. No, he bought an island with a cute little island cabin on it, and he lives in that little cabin when he's there. That's where he detoxed. Another sign of what a great dude the guy is. He doesn't roll up and go, I'm going to completely, he doesn't do a Chris Hemsworth in Byron Bay and go, I'm just going to eradicate all of this vegetation and put some big fucking ugly McMansion that takes up the whole island. He lives in the little bungalow and it's so cute. I'd love to cook him dinner in that little kitchen while he's sitting on the bed or lying on the bed, stoned off his tits, playing the guitar. Well, like, hello. I think it's one of the most romantic little places in the world. And I reckon if he sold all his assets and just moved there, he'll be fine. He can just jam out with his mates, go on tour with the Hollywood vampires. But I wouldn't be surprised if people are knocking on his door with film offers, and I hope he just goes, nah, I'm staying at home and drinking a mega pint. Fuck yous all. We all wish we could buy an island and a cabin to detox. Well, he didn't buy it to detox, but it was the obvious place for him to go to do it. But I can't believe, I've seen creators going, oh, that's not a very big house. What the fuck? You buy an island, you want island living, right? If you're Johnny Depp, you do. I would. I mean, I live in a little cabin by the beach. I'm happy as a pig in shit. All my friends that have got big houses and huge mortgages are shitting themselves because we're all about to get hit with interest rate increases, and that ain't going to be pretty. I'm sorted in my little cabin down by the beach. They would go after blood here. Absolutely. Can you imagine someone's name being published and they haven't been convicted of any crime in Australia? I know the media involvement and responsibility in this is terrifying. This entire trial is happening because that article was published. That poor man and his friends and family and what they've been, and his children, and yet all of these people have stood by him and just said, no, that's not him, which is incredible and a mark of what a decent bloke he is. But to be put through that, and the fact that it could even happen blows my mind. That does actually blow my mind. Yeah, I agree, AJ. I think he's going to get lots of offers. I just hope he goes, nah, I'm going to stay in my cabin on the beach and drink mega pints. They do just read the headline. I know, and America's been so full on about fake news. Trump certainly pushed the whole fake news thing. That article, that op-ed is fake news. Fucked up. Amber's gross. Yeah, fucking Hemsworth, exactly. I have to throw. I really like Chris Hemsworth, but fuck what he's done in Byron. He did buy his little village in France, like Chris Hemsworth did at Byron. Yeah, he'll be fine selling his weed. Yeah, we all want islands. We all want an island and mega. Well, I live on an island and I've got mega pints. This smoothie's now gone warm, but it was yummy too. But come to mine for a mega pint. I'll go live next time with this full of wine and just drink through the straw. I won't get to the end of that. The live will end before the mega pint does. Yeah, exactly. I never believed it either. I was gutted for him. But the fact that so many people turned on him so quickly, really, that's really where I started to get so sad about all of this. And then when he lost the case in London, I was like, oh, no. But this is his redemption. He's vindicated. His story is out there and the world is besotted with him, and rightly so. He's a beautiful man, and I hope he can just return to the private life that he enjoys and just be surrounded by so much love and peace. He deserves it. I want a little cabin, but I'd probably build a sick bunker or something. Well, whatever. I've got 3/4 of an acre. You can chuck a sick bunker on my land if you want. My house would be perfect for you. I think it'd be perfect for a lot of people. It's a pretty nice little pad. It's cute. But Francesca, I'll remember that when I'm rewriting my will. Johnny Depp gets the cocaine put back in Coca-Cola. He should open a wine bar and name it One Megapint. I don't think he's ever going to own a bar again after River Phoenix dying outside the Viper Room. I think his days of owning bars is over. Amber's a shocker. Yeah, Megapint. It's never going to get old, Cass. It's becoming legal in Queensland. We're talking about it. Gets it from a doctor in Melbourne. Weird thing is it costs the same, $3.80 an ounce. Yeah, in Canberra have different rules too. Will eventually be legal. Hey, Josephine Juniper. Good to see you, Jojo. Yeah, Megapint was brilliant. You should change your name to Megapint Healy. Seriously, if I was Meg, change your name to Megapint Healy. You're crazy if you don't, Meg. Megapint will be back. Got to get dog food. Yep, go get your doggy food. You don't have someone who can go and get mega muffins. Exactly. Change your name to Megapint Healy, honestly. I'm kind of jealous of you being able to do that. That's the best thing ever. Megapint Healy. How much did all the media crap play into the outcome in London? Yeah, I want to go back and revisit that again. I was following it at the time, and I thought he won it. Yeah. The Washington Post isn't what it... No, it used to be a credible paper. Reputation is in the bed with Amber Turd. You're in high school when he was dating Winona, and you have a good memory of that time. I liked them together. I thought they were a good couple. But I liked him with I liked him with everyone. I liked him with Angelina. He's dated a lot of hotties. No, being a drug taker doesn't make he hits women. Yes, that's why I moved to South Australia when I went to university. When I moved to South Australia in the late 80s, you could have up to 10 plants growing in your backyard for personal use. Hi, Lee RD. How are you, Groover? Oh, yeah, the penthouse dude was great. Not Alex. Alex was in the car. What was the penthouse dude's name? But he was. They've all been great. They've all been great. You can't change yours. I know. I kind of want to be the braless lawyer. Because I've suddenly found all these legal channels because of this trial, and they've all got kooky names. And I don't think Traces of Nuts lends a lot of credibility. I don't think anyone's ever going to take me seriously. It was the name of a foodie website I had years ago, and I like the comedic kind of undertones in Traces of Nuts as well, but Better Call Tor. Maybe I should just change my channel to Better Call Tor. Maybe that's what I'll do. What do you reckon, guys? Should I change my channel name to Better Call Tor? If I start doing more legal commentary and chat? Exactly. I'm so with you. So with you, See My Stories. Justice for Johnny Depp. He doesn't deserve to be treated this way. Let's watch the new Andrew Pandry that's just come out 8 hours ago. It's Johnny Being Hilarious in Court Part 3. Trials of Nuts. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that happened in the UK trial that was debunked today. Hi, Blue. You like Better Call Tor. Okay. No, they did date. They did date. And Angelina actually warned him against marrying Amber Heard. Better Call. All right, I'm changing Traces of Nuts to Better Call Tor. I'm going to have to get a whole heap of branding but what I thought I'd do if I do this is just what I'm doing now. Like, we'll just chat about trials that we're following, and so it means I'm going to have to start watching a few more trials, and chat about them live. Dales, we love your humour. We love you, Joe. We've all got the same humour here. I imagine you were, Jojo. Did you smash things, especially your love of musos and musicians? Because to me, Johnny's first and foremost always going to be a musician. He talks like one. He fell into acting by mistake. He's a genius actor. He was a genius actor before he even learnt how to act. Like, he was already the most compelling actor around. And but when he started off, I mean, he wanted truth, and he's a musician, and he sees himself first and foremost as that. Oh, yeah, that was a good point, AJ. I did hear someone make that comment too, that the fact that all of these people from his camp that are like, oh, I've worked for him 20 years, I worked for him for 22 years. Yeah, he's got this loyalty, and so many people that are still working for him. Even after all this shit happened, they're like, nah, Johnny's a good egg. You couldn't find it. Oh, well, maybe they didn't. I'm sure I saw a slideshow. Here's me talking about don't buy into what you see, do your homework. But the fact that she warned him against Amber, I just figured she had some kind of ex-girlfriend protective nature. The British accent. Well, the accent's explained. The accent's explained. He, if you go back to 21 Jump Street, he's got an accent. It's not like it is now. He's a lot more slow now, but, he's had a few cones in his day. But AJ put me onto this body language expert who fascinatingly went into the question about his accent. And the thing is, he was born and raised in Kentucky, and I don't know who, but in a study or whatever, they've allocated a word to each accent in each individual state in the US that sort of represents that state's accent. And the word for Kentucky is sexy. Secondly, she talked about how he spent a lot of time with his grandfather, who worked out in the fields and would take him, on the back of his tractor, and he'd hang out with all of his grandfather's old mates. And they did have that kind of almost like a landed gentry sort of, not that they were rich at all, but they were farming folk. So he grew up idolizing his grandfather, who had a very deep, gruff voice. Plus, he used to piss off to Florida when he was 12 with his little fake ID and sneak into bars and watch musos playing. And you've got bars full of men with deep, growly voices. And then he's also travelled extensively and worked in different countries. And, yeah, so she pretty much explained his accent is like anyone's. And it ends up evolving and almost representing experiences of that person's life. Does that answer your question? Janine Driver, thank you, AJ. Yeah, they're all lining up. Exes, ex-employees, current employees, they all love him. I thought Jack Sparrow was a bit Australian at times. Yeah, like Ireland and Boston. Exactly. And if you put, and she mentioned this too, the, fuck, what's her name? I've forgotten it already. Janine. Now, where was I going? She's Bostonian, and she says, if you put me in a room with someone else from Boston, we go into this dialect that people can't really understand. And she talked about how she had a co-worker called Mark, but she used to call him Mark, like an Australian does, Mark. Bostonians do that kind of arc noise. And she was working somewhere outside of Boston with this work colleague called Mark, and he thought she was taking the piss and making bird noises by going, Mark, hey, Mark. So, yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, I was in the Midwest, but I was in Kansas City, Missouri, and even though Kansas City, the accent wasn't very strong, if we went down to the Ozarks, Missouri, very defined accent. But I found in New York, people sounded a little bit English when I was there. Exactly. You wouldn't be slicing off your dominant hand. You love Johnny, but he's not good at a Southern English accent. No, there's some Americans that nail accents, though. Renee Zellweger, she's an awesome one for that. And Kate Winslet, I know she's English. She's brilliant for accents too, Australian and American. She's really good. Janine Driver, thank you again. Sorry, I went completely blank. Yeah, bird noises. How are you, Mark? Mark? All right. Let's watch version 3 of Johnny Depp being hilarious in court from the fabulous Andrew Pandrew. I haven't seen this yet. We're all watching this together. I'll be muting, but just bear in mind, for me to stop and then chat, I've got to go to the screen that I'm in StreamYard reading chat and sometimes participating. Then I've got to go over to the window that's playing this video. I've got to mute myself or unmute. It's all a bit clunky. Yeah, the Ozark is in Lake of the Ozarks. We used to go there for summer break. It was fun. Beverly Hillbillies are from Missouri, except Granny's from Tennessee. Yes, I do want to watch her TED Talk, AJ. It's on my to-do list. All right, so this is Andrew Pandrew, Johnny Depp being hilarious in court, part 3. Oh, wait, fuck, I've got to mute. I'm going to put, actually, I'll put StreamYard next to the video I'm about to play. That'll make life easier. All right. I don't have to go along the 50 tabs I've got open. I'm cracking up and pulling faces at the screen and realize at the camera, and I'm not on the screen. I'm a professional. Here we go.
Premiere or opening or whatever, where she could be photographed. Sorry?
I believe he was responding to what he meant by.
Oh my God, the hovering poo. The hovering human fecal matter. Bring it on. I agree. I had the same thought, Jojo. I think he's just hanging out. I reckon every time they have that 15-minute break, he's like, thank fuck. And he goes, have you seen that video of him smoking one of his little brown cigarillo things and the smoke coming out each nostril? Oh, God. He's gone to a whole new level of sexy because of this trial. But anyway, let's go back to it. I'll mute myself again.
What he wrote in his text message to Dr.
Meant exactly what the word said. Now he's going the
All right,
opposite.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Thank you, Mr. Rottenborn.
Sir, if you could just answer the question, Mr. Depp, please. Direct your
Sir.
attention just to your attorney, okay?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Uh,
Ms. Heard would get upset, angry, argumentative, and violent in Australia. The one that was the...
Johnny, I just want to say on behalf of Australia, We are so sorry that your experience in Australia was so fucking bad. Like, Amber didn't do anything Aussies would do. If you had had a proper Australian experience, we would have whisked you away to the closest pub for shitloads of mega pints. So on behalf of Australia, we're sorry.
The day when my tip of my finger disappeared. When she arrived in Australia, she complained that an attorney who was explaining to her the
Objection, Your Honor, is hearsay as to what he alleges her attorney was explaining to her. That's clearly
We can
hearsay.
move on, Your
Okay,
Honor.
yes, ma'am.
In the content, and do you recall what you were upset about in that video?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
apparently looking for any metadata is impossible as it is
Your
now
Honor.
owned.
Could that rod she's got up her clacker be any bigger? Did you see the clip of Amber looking sad about the... Yeah, I did see that. Yep, burst out laughing and then, oh, I've got to look sad. The luggage handle makes it look like she wants it. Yeah, it does. Apparently at the end, someone was saying earlier, he sort of waves to everyone that's been in the public gallery and engages with everyone, and she just grabs a little suitcase and takes off. But how... Oh, yeah, an apology from England too for your legal system. Johnny for Prime Minister, hashtag Jack Sparrow for Deputy, hashtag Edward Scissorhands for Treasurer. I'm on a PC, Joey Wilson. She don't like rods in her clacker, or so I heard. And someone else said that too. Who was it who, when Johnny wasn't drinking, there were 2 empty bottles of wine left over every day to be cleared away? But what about the note-taking? What does she think she's doing? Like, that is a tactic. That's a strategy, is to just focus on the note-taking. But do you think her lawyers aren't taking notes? And do you think the court transcriber isn't taking notes? Like, you get given a copy of the transcript in court at the end of each day. Like, she's just trying to look all engaged and important, but it's actually a strategy because the cameras are on her. She's probably just writing, I hate Johnny, I hate Johnny. Oh, yes, the mega pint party. She does look like Lizzie Borden. She probably would blame the Australians. When you press Windows key and G together, you get recording stuff. Don't know if that helps or not, mate. Well, you mean... Huh? You mean with my echo? She writes scribble down constantly, I've noticed. Meta, mega data, mega pint. Yeah, it's another tactic. Definitely. That's a good point, Francesca. It probably is that too, making him uncomfortable. She's making a list of who to screw over next. There's no one on the list. Who would go near her with a 10-foot pole after this? Like, I hate to say this, and this is such an Aussie expression, and please don't take it the wrong way, but there's probably quite a heap of people who want to hate fuck her now, but that'd be about it. Moving right along.
Owned
Beyond
by
scope of
I'll
question.
sustain the objection. You want to ask the question
Mr.
again?
Depp, what do you remember?
that it didn't have anything to do with it.
Objection beyond the scope of the question.
Overruled, I'll allow it. It's fine. All right. Any objection to 365?
No, Your Honor.
Nice one, cement shoes. Casper. You take one for the team. All right. Casper is going to hate fuck her. My channel's going to disappear. Am I breaking every terms of service at the moment? Possibly. Oh, all right. Okay. I have to go to the loo in a minute. Like, unlike half of the American creators who can go live for 2 hours without going to the loo, I'm not one of them. It's very interesting. Well, she possibly could have won if it was purely about defamation. But by putting all this dirty laundry out, it hasn't helped her case. And now there are witnesses that are debunking all the defamation stuff as well. But this is what surprised me, was all the dirty laundry being aired, because I'm like, this people have got to remember this trial is about defamation, and that's it, and that published op-ed. So Francesca, I don't think Francesca likes Casper taking one for the team. You're trying your bogan way. I hear what you're saying, though. We'll fix this echo, because I want to start reacting to shit. I enjoy it. That's been when I did breakfast radio, the fact that I had a co-host to set up one-liners for me that I could bounce off, that's where my humor is at its strongest. So I think I'm built for the reaction video on my new Better Call Tour channel, which will be launched very soon. We do all have bogan in us. My inner bogan's a ripper. See you, Anne-Marie. Keep being amazing and looking after people. Love you, gorgeous. Good to see you. All right. You take care, Marie. Let's keep going, groovers.
R365, you have evidence?
Couch. Yes.
Your Honor, she said this was 11 cents.
No, I'm not saying that. You asked.
I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. It may have been 45. I misremembered. I apologize, I misremembered. Okay.
Okay.
I forgot to mute. Sorry. Poor Johnny, he's just going, so glad I'm more into music than becoming a lawyer. What the fuck is this fuckery? Because even from a legal perspective, we're watching, a lot of us lawyers are watching this going, what the hell? Like, that's a huge part of my fascination with it, is how diabolical the legal team is and the stuff that's going on. It's not painting lawyers and courtroom antics in a good light. But Johnny is.
What do you want? I want couch. I want couch. Agree, please, though. You said you agreed before we started talking.
Mr. Depp, do you...
Why didn't she want a recliner? I want to see photos of the couch. How vile is she too? Just couch, like no sentences. Couch. Oh God, imagine how she spoke to him in the shit she didn't record. Ugh, she nasty. He has got the Clark Gable look on. She is. Couch, agree. What? I know, she's vile. And the way she just taunted him over and over and over again in the hope that he would lose his shit and punch her in the face, and the amazing patience and control of this man that he just nut. She's ordering him to the couch like a dog. Yeah, it's awful. Recliner. I know, how is he nearly 60? Well, men better. I think men age well. So, but my God, he was a beautiful young thing too. And his smile, like when people were complaining about how slowly he was speaking and everything, I loved it. I was hanging on every word because I knew there was going to be a ripper one-liner coming, and that smile of his too. Mute, Tori, mute.
recognize what's in that recording?
Seems pretty clear that she's ordering me to the couch. When someone brings up the fact that you vomit in your sleep every night, well, first I think you'd be aware of it. I think the first thing that I would do is seek medical attention. I don't know why anyone would record that.
Okay, 342, any objection?
What was it when you asked me to stay? What did I do?
The screeching of her voice.
What does that mean in the context of that conversation?
I don't know. Again, it seems like some word that was. It became
Objection,
part
Your
of
Honor. He said he doesn't know.
All right, I'll sustain objection. Next question.
So at first I said,
Objection, Your Honor. The question was simply, do you remember when that was from? It's beyond scope.
So where were you when that recording was taken?
my children couldn't escape the fact that all this had gone down. So
Objection,
I was.
Your Honor. The question was, how did the discussion go? He's talking about his children. It's way beyond the scope.
Just talking.
Sir, just wait for the objection.
I think he's describing the context around that conversation.
It's way beyond the scope.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Mr. Depp, why were you?
I mean, everybody. I know that that's his job, but that was quite a cruel.
Objection, Your Honor. We're well beyond the
All right,
scope.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Finally, I'd like to play a portion.
All right, any
There was one little bit there that went really quickly, that the caption, but when he was cut off, when he was talking about his kids, and yeah, he did certainly go into a lot of little stories and anecdotes, and weren't they fascinating? Oh, good night, beautiful Scout. I love you. I really fell for him because where his legal team have been super smart is to limit objections, to highlight those objections. Her team, because they've objected to fucking everything, it's made them look really like that line before. They just look like clowns. We love you, Scout. Sweet dreams, beautiful girl. And thank you again for sending me that awesome video of you on the hike with your babies. It was beautiful.
objection to 357A? All right, 357A in evidence.
You can tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. See how many people believe or side with you.
How far after May 21st, 2016 do you think that conversation was? I'm asking for his best estimate.
I'll allow it if you answer this.
Sorry, could you ask it again? I was distracted.
How long after? I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Sir, you can have a seat next to your attorney, please. Okay, thank you. All right, your next witness. Ben King. Somebody gonna go get Mr. King? You can
do away with these.
You can take it with you. Or you just leave it. You can leave it there.
On one of his
Well,
fingers.
objection, hearsay.
Objection, hearsay. Oh, I love it. And how beautiful was the female lawyer that put her hand on his shoulder and gave him a little encouraging rub and told him he did great. Like, his team are just so lovely, but I'll just go back a bit so we can hear her lawyers objecting to their own question.
On one of his
Well,
fingers.
objection, hearsay.
You asked the question.
Oh,
Next
Okay,
question.
you said he sustained an injury to his finger,
Yes.
but you don't know what caused the injury to his finger.
That was the dog trying to get into the unit. They were so afraid. Oh, somebody's trying to get into my unit. It's like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room to make sure no one was there. We don't have cameras in the video. Sorry, we don't have cameras at the hallway. We don't have cameras on the hallway. I always make eye contact with someone I'm talking to, but I'm not looking to find something like oh, your makeup's wrong, you haven't have to change your eyebrows, or your eyelashes are not even, or I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking at their eyes.
But in fact, you don't recall seeing Amber Heard on May 24th, correct?
I don't remember. I don't even remember what I got for breakfast.
Okay. Well, let's pull up exhibit number 1. Did you testify truthfully to everything that you testified in response to my questions today?
That's correct.
Right.
I did.
All right. That was a first. I'm sorry.
I will say, Your Honor, that is the most bizarre episode.
Okay. All right. It's just say I've just never seen that before. I've seen a lot of things, but I've just never seen it.
Driving that.
Yeah, that did it. All right. So,
That news that he was given that night was catastrophic, wasn't it?
No.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his
Objection.
pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp penis.
I'll allow. Next question.
So finally, Johnny Depp's penis made an appearance.
Did you have?
Oh.
Did you play a role on Mr. Depp's behalf with respect?
Fuck. Oh. He didn't put his belt on. Yeah, so Johnny's penis finally made an appearance. I was surprised, actually, that in all of Amber's recordings, she didn't have a dig at him about his dick. So obviously there's no need to. Do you know if you know what I'm saying? Because she said everything else. I was expecting her to mention his willy, his doodle, or his, at some point. I'm going to end this live shortly. I really want us, though, to end on, unfortunately, a somber note, because why don't we see the photos when they're in court? Because they're all up on a screen, and, the days of it all being, they've all got computer screens with the exhibits on them. The days of the whole, things being projected on a big screen that everyone can see are well and truly gone. They literally just stream the courtroom. They're not sort of covering the court, if that makes sense. Here in Taswegia, you'd still get to see photos and things like that, but it has been fun. But I'm going to end on a serious note, because the ramifications of this trial are huge. The most important thing is that Johnny Depp's been able to clear his name and tell his side of the story, which is awesome. And it must be incredibly great for him to feel vindicated. The amount of money that he's seeking in this action really has no bearing on anything, even if the jury, and I really don't know how they're not going to be able to find that article defamatory now, with the witnesses in the last 24 hours who've essentially confirmed that the article was about him. His name was in it. The Washington Post told her to take the name out. It came out, or they took it out, and she demanded it was put back in. So you're kind of screwed on that, Amber. But secondly, his former talent agent giving evidence that Johnny was going to be dropped from Pirates because of that op-ed. Final nail in the coffin. I think that Lana isn't there with binders. I think that this trial and the publicity it's getting is incredibly important for men who are victims of domestic violence and family abuse, intimate partner abuse, whatever you want to call it. If just one man feels like he can speak up now, that it's worth it. But I suspect many will. So that's another ramification of this trial that I think is incredibly powerful. I also think it's incredibly powerful that people like Amber Heard and their behaviour being exposed will make a lot of people realise they are actually in an abusive relationship who may not currently think that they are. Unfortunately, a lot of people just don't get to tell these sorts of stories, but there's been a lot of books, articles, podcasts in the last few years talking about the realities of ending up in a relationship like this. So if it makes someone realise the situation they're in is abuse, that's also awesome. I think the media in America will need to be questioned about how they can publish an article about someone who hasn't been convicted out like that, and which led to Johnny being labelled a wife beater. That just can't happen in Australia, so it's incongruous to me how it can happen in the States. But if it brings about a legislative change and a bit more media control, that would be a good thing. But I also think all of us, I don't think anyone's gone through life without being abused in some way, shape or form, whether they were bullied as little kids at school, abusive parents, siblings, relatives, partners, bosses, co-workers. If you're engaging with other people, it is very hard to avoid abusers. They're all over the place. And I think we can all channel our common experiences in that regard and start to be way more vigilant when we're seeing the signs in friends and family and co-workers, and actually start to identify and speak up about that sort of stuff. I've got a little video that I just want to end with, which is about Johnny Depp. And it's pretty much questioning and showing how many times he tried to let us know and warn us about Amber and what he was going through. This channel is Viral Vision. There's a lot of different versions of this floating around. This is just the one that I'm choosing to share, but I just think it's really important that we watch it. And it goes for 8 minutes, but it's got a lot of really important stuff in this. And I don't know if this one covers it, but you'll see through the video there's a lot of, unfortunately for Johnny and like many people, we use humour to sort of mask bad things that we're going through. Like a lot of people, like my family, very dark humour at funerals. That's our way of coping. It's his coping mechanism too, or one of them. But we've got to look for those little nuances and those little undertones, look past the joking and so on. And I'm not sure, I haven't watched this entire video, but another one that I watched yesterday had, I'm just putting back to normal speed, had him actually playing on stage with the Hollywood vampires, and he actually had the word help written on his fingers. So I was playing the guitar, the word help was there. But if this video just reminds us all that we need to be more aware of what's going on around us and start protecting people like Johnny and all victims of abuse, and be a supportive person and get the help that they need. And I'm talking about, talking to the police, speaking about it, getting everything, the ball rolling and protecting that person. So we need to be, my parents raised my siblings and I to think of others first. We were the Gen Xers who got told off for thinking about ourselves, and we were encouraged to put other people first. And I think for the most part, my friends and family siblings are very focused on other people and what they're going through. But there are a lot of people on the planet who only think about themselves, and they really need to start noticing what other people are going through. I'm not meaning to be deep, but I just think this is a really important message that I wanted to address. Hi, Lee D. It's going to mute. Here we go.
Now, Mr. Depp, I'm scared to death. I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home.
よろしくお願いします。まず久々の日本についての感想を聞かせて。
I just wanted to say with that one, whether you noticed it or heard it, she's obviously having a dig at him, and he looks at her and says no, and she keeps going, and he says no, not now.
Back in Japan? You promoted the Mandy Lane film.
No, I didn't.
You weren't there? Okay,
No, I didn't go to Toronto. I was filming my show.
Because there were so many other people.
Hold on one second.
No problem.
Courtney, I can't do this if people are coming in and out of the door. It's really distracting. Extremely.
Q, would you listen to this, please? This is punching. It's one of the right. Let's keep on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Basically, I had a
Once again, how vile is she? How vile. Shoving food in her face, knowing she's about to listen to him talking about her abuse. And then when he does, she rolls her eyes. Ugh.
pretty nasty injury. The first bottle went past my ear, and the second one was a larger bottle, and she threw it from about this distance. And it smashed into the bar, which and this finger, the tip of the finger was severed. All the bone in here was completely shattered. I mean, it looked like Vesuvius.
Personally, Johnny is one of the most soulful and kind-hearted and gentle humans that I know. So to see him get transformed into a
So just on that little bit with Dakota Johnson, Dakota grew up with Johnny because Johnny and Don Johnson were really good mates, or are really good mates. So she's known him and he's known her since she was born. And she also, there's another bit of footage of her seeing Amber Heard somewhere in public, and the look she's giving Amber, she saw through it too.
Do you think that his career will ever recover from this?
The question of why is something that has been popping up a lot in regards to the case between JD and Amber Heard, such as why is this going this far? Why hasn't JD been cleared yet? Why would Amber Heard do these things? Why did JD not come forward sooner about this? And so on and so forth. But while we don't have all the answers to those questions, we're able to look back in hindsight and see if JD tried to warn us about all that was going on with his relationship with Amber Heard.
Globe, do you have a message for your fans right now, Mr. Depp?
I'm scared to death. I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home.
I'm going to show you some examples of this, but first, do me a favor, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Do you want to win an iPhone 12, maybe a MacBook Pro? How about $500 cash? All you have to do is comment the C.
I'm muting the ad. I mean, seriously, can we not? Fuck me dead. Ah, Godfather, interesting.
But it's something that needs to be said because of the two of them Only one of them is a confirmed AB from past relationships, and it's not JD. That's right, Amber Heard was a convicted AB of a past relationship, and yet somehow Johnny not only dated her, but he was also head over heels in love with her.
よろしくお願いします。まず久々の日本についての感想を聞かせてください。
So, was this a case of JD just wanting to see the good in people, or was this a case of love blinding him from the truth? While it's true that some people can change, you'd have to think that someone would have looked at JD going to this relationship after 25 years of marriage to his former wife, Vanessa Paradis, and thinking something's not right here. But sadly, that didn't happen, and thus things got very bad. Number 4, the finger incident. There are many key moments of the AB relationship between JD and Amber Heard that can be proven in various ways, including the infamous tussle that left JD with a finger that was almost fully severed in part.
Socially, Johnny is one of the most soulful, and so to see him then transform into a...
JD once described the time where Amber threw a couple of bottles at him. He goes into detail onto what happened and how his finger was injured due to it. He seemed to remember it in very good detail. When questioned about his bandages later by Dakota Johnson, JD answered vaguely. He avoided the question with a joke, but it seems to have tipped off his friend. His friend gives him a look that says that she knows more than he lets on, but leaves it alone. Fans noted that after that line of questioning, JD was very much shaking, and the fact that Johnson left it alone after a knowing look seems to indicate that various other people knew there was some AB going on, which says a lot. Number 3, the customs incident. The filming of the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie was a very key moment in JD's life for all the wrong reasons. Not only was the movie terrible, but one thing after another happened on the set and off of it. The pain of JD is a man losing his marbles when it honestly should have been more about how Amber Heard was using him, such as when Amber Heard illegally brought her dogs into the country of Australia where filming was being done, and JD had to help her do it. This was a serious customs foul that led to courts, fines, and more. There were even rumors of jail time happening at one point. But how was this a warning sign of the AB? Think about it like this. Why would JD go along with this act? He likely knew that it was illegal, not to mention it was something that could have been taken care of in regards to looking after the dogs by a close friend or attendant to their house.
Experience. Yeah, we wanted to do that someday.
That's not what happened though. Amber forced JD to help her with it, and they got in trouble as a result, showing that she very much had control over him and that he wasn't going to try and deny her anything, a classic thing in an AB relationship. Number 2, body language. Here's another thing that a lot of people missed for very simple reasons. Because Heard and JD were a Hollywood A-list couple, they were on the red carpet with one another all the time. This is standard as they would do interviews, photo ops, and more. However, there were times when during an interview or a photo shoot moment,
I've got to apologize. I did find a way better video than this one that literally just looked at the signs like the help written on his hands and so on. But I'm going to keep playing it because we're 5 minutes 58 in and I feel committed.
that the two would have body language that would showcase that something was wrong.
I mean, for me, it's always a pleasure. The only problem I ever have here is that I don't get to spend enough time here. But my girl and I...
In one instance, there was a time where JD was doing an interview with Amber next to her, and she seemed to want to get in on it, and JD tried to stop her from doing it, and the body language screamed that someone was wrong, especially as JD looked submissively away. Also, in a key deposition by Amber Heard, she denied that she ever hit Johnny, and yet all kinds of body language experts noted that she was lying solely by how she composed herself and moved around.
And not only that, but there's even a recording where she says, I didn't punch you, I was hitting you. Oh, yeah, I agree, lady. She is absolute trash. Exterior beauty doesn't make you a winner, and beauty's only skin deep. She's rotten to the core underneath. Yeah, Jason. Hello, Sammy. I'm still alive. Look at us go. It's 2.5 hours live, Moogie. All right, we're nearly done with this.
Number one, the proof we're seeing now. Fast forward to the court cases between these two, and we're seeing all sorts of things that further prove that JD was screaming for help. He kept text messages from Amber's parents that noted that they still loved him while the divorce proceedings were going on, And they even admitted that Amber was lying about the AB to get money in housing. He kept audio recordings which showed all sorts of conversations about Heard not just ABing him, but noting that if he went to court, no one would believe he was the victim. So while it's taken a while, we're to the point where things are finally coming together. But will it be enough? Only time will tell. But with that being said, there you have it. A look at Amber Heard and JD and how things were secretly teased.
I could put together a much better video than that one. But the point was, there are signs, and they are subtle, especially if it's a man, because of that whole stigma about men speaking up about being victims of domestic violence. And I just think that this is a very empowering trial, and it doesn't really matter what the outcome is regarding defamation. The fact that all of this has been put out there is the victory. Her career has got to be over. Maybe she can do good and work in a homeless shelter as a volunteer. She didn't even donate that money to the charities from the divorce, the $7 million. She donated $100,000. Elon donated more than her, and Johnny copped a belting because he sent one of the payments direct to the charity because he knew obviously that she wasn't going to do it. The recording is just, and how bizarre to record that stuff and think when it's played in court that everyone in court's going to go, he's abusing her. Like, how blind can this girl be? She's so full of herself that she's like, this will show everyone. You go back to the opening statement of the lawyer who sounds like Diane from Diane's channel, Elaine, and she, oh, we're going to show you this and you're going to see all of this. And we did get to see and hear all of it, and all of it shows Amber to be the abuser and a nasty piece of work. But the fact that Amber thought that all these recordings were going to make her look like the victim, it blows my mind. How can you be that stupid? And he said one of the reasons he fell for her was that she was intelligent. Those recordings are, I mean, not only the content of them, but like we've been saying a fair bit in chat, is also who does that? Who does that? The area of law that I work in now is to do with workers and employment law, and, well, not employment law so much, but the rights of people when they're working, essentially. And a lot of people are criticised, a lot of our clients are criticised that when they started a new job and there was a bully manager or whatever, that they weren't taking notes about it from the day they started the job. And my argument in defence of that all the time is, people get a new job, they're excited. What cynical asshole rocks up on their first day and starts taking notes that might be evidence of bullying down the track? I mean, if it was blatant bullying, you would, but why is there an expectation on people that they're going to be suspicious and writing notes about everything right from the start? It doesn't make sense. Most people get a new job, they're so excited and they go. Over time, they might say, going, oh, this manager's a bit dodgy, or this co-worker or whatever, and they might start making notes. But the number of times the lawyers try to make out there's some flaw in that person that they weren't recording from the very first day, it's incongruous. It's not how real people function. Real people don't start recording their partners all the time secretly. I mean, Johnny recorded Amber and clearly asked her for permission to record her so that she would know the next day after a couple of bottles of wine what she'd been up to the night before, because she kept denying it, which they do. People with these personality disorders. But yeah, I mean, what human being goes into a relationship with someone? Their marriage was 15 months. It was tiny. And she's got that recorder going. My son is, BR word. I do. I love Rakita Law. She does. Thank you. Thank you. You are not one of Amber's Heard. Thank God someone agrees. She sounds like Diane. Thank you. Yep, and that's what they do. They slide on in. And like he said, her ambition was far greater than her love for him. She did like obscure blues musos, but part of me thinks she researched that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if she did her homework and worked out the things that he was into, and that was all part of her plan. This life has affected me greatly in a good way. Oh, that's good, Deb. You know my history. I do, and I love you. But I now have a man who has suffered the same thing, but as a man will not speak up. Well, be that support network, which I know you can be because you're incredibly strong, and hopefully he'll feel the courage to speak up. Even just telling his story to you is a start, you know, and with confidence and feeling safe. Yeah, Rakita's great. And look, there's so many channels covering this. The shouty young people that are like, it's all about me, but I'm going to play this because everyone's talking about it. But I'm going to talk over the top of it, and I'm going to make it all about me and be really shouty and loud. I can't watch them. I've been sent so many different links of people to have a look at. But I love Rakita and his buddies, how they're just sitting back watching it, providing some legal commentary, sipping on their mega pints of scotch. I love them. Yeah, I agree. Don't try that trick. I sometimes skim over little BR word. All right, so we did have some serious stuff in there, which I wanted to cover as well, because weirdly that is part of my persona, but I'm going to end with a little giggle for everyone because so many great things have come out of this trial. And I've covered them so many times now, I don't want to keep repeating them, but I think the ramifications of this trial globally are huge. Pugs, how are you? Pugs rolling in at 2 hours 31 right when I'm about to log off. But we will end with a bit of a smile because Johnny's proven one thing as well. Doesn't matter how horrible your life experience and what you're going through, if you can still find a laugh in it, you're going to be okay. Everyone goes through shit in this world. We all have our stories. Don't ever lose your sense of humour.
I left the penthouse 3. I left at 4:30 in the morning. And from that moment on, I did not see, misheard until the 21st.
Why was that? Why was that? Why was that?
I perceived
What was that? What was that? What was that?
that was absurd and grotesque, and I was shown a picture of what the problem was.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. Human fecal matter.
What was that? What was that?
Human fecal matter.
Why was that? Why was that?
That's a lonely life. Lonely life. Human fecal matter. I had gone to Mr. Depp and said, she's a good show. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know. And he said, I don't think now's the time to go.
Why was that? Why was that?
I received some news
What was that? What was that?
that was absurd and grotesque, and then I was shown a picture of what the problem was.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It's a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. Human fecal matter.
What was that? What was that?
Human fecal matter.
Why was that? Why was that?
That's a lonely life. Lonely life. Human fecal matter. Human fecal matter.
What was that? What was that?
Human fecal matter.
Why was that? Why was that?
That's a lonely life. Lonely life. human fecal matter.
Funny enough, I just mentioned Punish Dad. It is my ringtone, is what I was saying. And I also sing it when I go to the loo if I'm doing a poo. And we don't say poo in my house anymore. It's human fecal matter. Or when I'm cleaning up Sonny's, it's feline fecal matter. And then I knock back a mega pint. Yeah, I was totally muted. But I wanted to say to Punish Dad, I'm going to have a try at sorting out this fucking headphone thing. And next time I go live, I'll have my earbuds. I'm going to have my headphones. We'll do a live working out how to fix it. And because I'm busting to go to the loo. And also, but not to do any human fecal matter. Oh, yeah. My channel is going to be changed shortly to Better Call Tor. I think one person thought it was a good idea, so I'm doing it. No, a couple did. I know, absurd and grotesque. Hello, Medicine Man. Peace be with you too, beautiful. Yep, a mega pint washed down with a muffin. So, yeah, I've changed my channel name before. I'm about to do it again. It will be Better Call Tor because I think that covers... I'm still muted? No, you need to refresh. Because I think it covers everything. We want to have a chat about something. Although, how does it fit in with my walking on the beach and shit? I suppose I'll just always start with, anyone got a problem? Better Call Tor, and then away we go. I don't know. I'll have a thinky. I do have that Better Call Tor intro, which will be fun. I hope. But yeah, can't get enough of the trial. I think that there will be a lot of changes, and if you want to know what they are, you're going to have to replay this live. Exactly, Deb. Always look on the bright side. No one gets through this life unscathed. It's how you use that experience to make you a better person and go out into the world to try and make other people be better people too. Oh, you'll still get notifications and stuff. It's just the name's going to change. The names are being changed to protect the innocent nuts. But fuck, see, I'm going to have to change all the different levels of my memberships and oh my goodness me, I'm going to be a busy little bee. So until then, until next time, stay groovy, everyone. And thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun. Love you guys.